Hello friends, welcome to Salesforce CMAtics video session 135. So basically in today's video, we will actually understand the formatting options which is available under column chart. So of course, yesterday we walked through what are the formatting options which is available under the bar chart. Today we will understand what are the options available under column chart. Okay, so yeah. So let's start this and I will very quickly go to my Analytics Studio. And what I will do is probably I will duplicate this tab, that is fine. And in this tab, I will just open that particular lens which we did. And what I will do is today, I will actually take the data set once again, that is account of left join. Okay, and straight away what I will do is I will go to the chart. So first of all, I think that day we took the industry. So maybe I can take the industry once again, which is fine. And straight away I will move to the column chart. So as you can see, this is the basic difference which we have. Okay, like under column, it is showing in the form of column. Now, if I go to the formatting option, so as I told you, the title, title font size, subtitle, title font size, and this will always remain the same. So maybe I can just write it as column chart, and here. Okay, I won't play around with this because as I told you, this whole section of title, title font size, subtitle font size, and title alignment with all the time remain same in all the charts. Okay, that's for sure. And then comes over here. So as you can see, this is also similar to what we did on the bar chart. Okay, I think I already walked you through the number of decimal places, all these things we can check later on. The axis mode, I already walked you through like how we have taken both of the things and how the axis will happen. Similar is the thing like here, of course, it will happen. So for example, if I go for a maximum of, let's say I go for maximum of amount over here, okay. So this is how it will appear. And here, of course, you can go for different axes as well. I can go for dual axis, which will be much more neater. So basically, I think if I go for single axis, yeah, if I go for single axis, the maximum of amount is being reflected on the left, as you can see. And if I go for dual axis, okay, as you can see on the right, it's showing the maximum of amount, and on the left, it shows the count of rows, which helps us to identify properly. Okay, so that's how it's done. Fine, which is completely fine. We already walked through this one. It's just that it's in terms of columns. The previous one was in terms of bar. Okay, in the terms of horizontal, this is in terms of vertical. Now coming to the axes here also is the same thing, just like we did on the bar chart. Show axis, show title. I won't walk through this once again. It's the same thing as it was earlier. The log scale. Of course, if you want to introduce the log scale, you can do it over here. Fine. And yeah, these are all of the things which we have done earlier as well. If you want to add custom domain, fine. So basically restrict the view to the domain bounded by these values. So for example, we have from here, let's say for now, I think I can remove this one. Okay. And what I can do is maybe I can go for single axis. Okay. Let me go for single axis. And let's say there's a bound. So if I add the custom values, restrict the view to the domain bounded by this value. Let's say I add it from 10 to, let's say, 90. Okay. Now, as you can see here, from 10 to 90, it's getting bounded. Okay. So I have taken this whole axis as, so it's starting from 10. Okay. And it's ending on 90, as you can see on the top. If I restrict it to 80, let's say, it will restrict up till 80. Okay. So there's some values which is continuing from here, but I have just restricted. That's the meaning of add custom domain. So as you can see here, the numbers are not reflecting. Like if I hover over here, it's showing as 100. If I hover over here, showing the count as 89. But I have bounded up till 80. That's why the numbers are not reflecting, but it's there. Okay, so that's the something about the add custom domain. Fine. I think that is something which, if I'm not wrong, I saw over here as well. Maybe I didn't walk through that. Y-axis. Okay, so you don't have it over here. Y-axis left. Let me check the Y-axis left. So yeah, we don't have any option called y-axis left on the, like we have this x-axis top, which is there. So there, I think we have this option of add custom domain, which I didn't walk through maybe. So here also you can do the same thing. You can put some values, like you can put, let's say 10 million till 50 million. So based on that, it will be bounded by it. Okay. So maybe I didn't walk through it and don't remember, but yeah, that's how it is. Fine. So that's how this add custom domain is all about. And For the title, you can actually like show the title. If you want to remove it, it will get removed, which is fine. This is the same thing which you walked earlier. Now, probably what I can walk you through is something which I didn't do in my previous session when I was explaining the bar chart, is adding the reference line. Okay. So for now, what I will do is I will just remove all this. Okay, that's not needed as of now. The custom domain, fine. But let's say I want to add a reference line where I can write something like, let's say I write the let's say I write the label as, yeah, I think reference line, something like that. Okay, reference line one, something like that. And the color is fine. And maybe the values, what I can do is I can put it something like 50. Okay, so maybe I can write something like, yeah, I think reference line one is fine as of now. And I can add further reference line, fine. So if you want, you can just add something like in 70, and the value is 70, you can add the label something like reference line 2, and maybe I can change the color from here, let's say yellow, or I think a shade, or I think green would be fine. Okay, so as you can see, it's appearing in green. So that's the concept of reference line, something I didn't explain you over here. I think here also we have that concept of adding reference line, fine. So you can add that reference line over here. For example, here if I add it, so let's say I want to add it somewhere around, let's say, okay, somewhere around yeah, I guess somewhere around 10 million. So that's how it will appear. And here I can write something like, so again, as you can see on the that particular line, it's appearing. So something which I'm doing now. When it comes to bar, okay, when it comes to bar, the line will appear vertical. As you can see, the line is going to appear vertical. But when it comes to column, the reference line is going to appear as horizontal. Okay, that's obvious, because that's why you have it over here as the y-axis left. So on the y-axis left, it's going to get it, and here it will be more like an x-axis left, right? So on the x-axis left, x-axis top, I'm sorry, not left, it's going to get added over here. So that's the concept of this reference line. Fine. I hope you understood it, and we can play on add further reference line. Okay. Now the legend is something similar which we have done in the previous session related to bar chart. I'm not walking through that. The position size we can adjust. Now the next part which comes is the tooltip. Okay, I think I also added like how we can add tooltip, something we did in the previous section as well. Okay, so I won't want to go through it. Like if you hover over here, whatever information is adding, you can add further information. Customize data point details. Select the measures or dimensions shown in the tooltip when you hover over a charge data point. So basically, like currently, if I hover over here, it's basically showing me the count of rows. And if I just customize this, okay. So if I go over here, let's see, show dimension, show measure, so percentage, show null values. So let's say I don't want to see the percentage. Will it show me the percentage? Okay, so as you can see here, like once I hover over here, right, as you can see here, at last, I mean, I won't be able to see you with the show you with the mouse, but okay, let me do one thing. If I just hover over here, you see at first instant industry utilities, the count of rows is 47. At bottom, you see there's a number which is appearing like it's writing as 3.87. So when I hover to this 47, it's writing as 3.87% of 1.2K. Okay. Now, if I just deselect this option of show percentage, you can see that it's not appearing. That 3.87 which was appearing earlier, that is not coming up right now. Okay. And let's say if I think we don't have null values over here, but if I remove it, then it won't show up the null values also. Okay. That's the thing. And let's say if I don't want to show the measures, for example, the count of rows is showing as 47. If I don't want to show that count of rows, okay, and if I scroll over here, you see it's only showing industry utilities. Okay. It's not showing the count of rows. So basically, you can play around with this when you want to customize the data points. So if you don't want to show it, you can just deselect this option. For example, here, if I write something like, let's say industry, this is of, and I can write something like with count, and maybe I can add this field of count of rows. Okay. Now with that being added, let's say if I don't want to show the customized data point, so if I hover over here, okay, as you can see here, it's showing me that particular thing. This is of utilities with count, this one. If I hover over here, it is showing me this is of transportation with count. So it's a textual message which I have written my way. And let's say if you want to deselect a few options from here, you can actually do that. Okay, so if I now hover over here, it's only showing me this is of utilities with count. So by default, what happens, like like if you just hover over here, by default, even if you add the custom text, which is all you have enabled already, you have adding your own text and manual text, okay, with the help of this field as well, the industry and the count of rows, which will, like, based upon whichever industry you're hovering, that name will pop up. But the problem is the data points. If you see the data point details, it will still appear. Right, what you have to do is, even if you disable, that will still appear. You have to enable the customized data point, and you have to ensure that you disable this two option of show dimension and show measure. At that time, if you hover, it's only showing you that particular custom text which you have added. So this is known as the custom text. Whenever you hover into that particular chart, basically whatever the data are there, it shows details for that. Okay, something which is very useful. And that's the thing about this one. And finally, if we go to trellis, so basically the trellis is something I haven't added over here. So maybe let's say if I add a trellis, let's say I just add something like stage. Okay, I add that as a trellis over here. So this is how the trellis looks like once you add the trellis. Now, basically under trellis, if you want to show the grid lines, so I'm not quite sure if you can see it. It will be difficult for me to show, but maybe I can just click on the presentation mode. You see below this two, there's one line. If you see, like for 60, you have a thin line. For 40, you have a thin line. For 30, you have a thin line. For 20, you see there's a thin line which is appearing. Okay. Now, if I don't want to show this particular line, what I can do is I can go to formatting. And if I just go to trellis, and if I just click on disable this option of show grid lines, and now if I click on present, you won't. Okay, I think I can still see it. I don't know what change I saw at that time. Let me just check it once again. Okay, I got it. Now, if I click on present mode, you see there's, so for closed log, there's a particular line, a vertical line which is appearing. This is grid line. This shows the separation. It's a very thin line. I'm not sure if you can see it in my screen, but it's the cursor where I'm pointing to. It's a thin line which is running. Now, if you disable that option, you actually won't get to see it. So for example, here, if I come and if I just disable this option, okay, the trail is disappeared, I guess. 1 minute, huh? So if I just disable this option, and if I click on present, yeah, now you won't get to see that option, that thin line which appears. Okay, so that's the thing about this one. I think for some reason I'm just clicking 2 times. Okay, that is fine. So that's the thing about this option which is there for trellis. Okay, now if you want to flip the levels, basically what is happening is, like, as you can see properly over here, you have this closed one, closed all the stages for the trellis at the top, and if you want to flip it at the bottom, you can do it. And what is the type? Okay, so that's how it works. And what is the type? The types create separate graphs based on grouping. So it's the horizontal, and this is the size ratio. So yeah, this is basically the complete formatting, I will call it. And yeah, this type is also, if you see, like, if you want to change the variety of it, you can do it. Okay, this is how it will appear, the verticals. If you, basically it's horizontal, that's how it appears. So when you select release, if you want to select in a matrix format, this is how the matrix format will appear. Okay, and yeah, wrap, if you want to do it, you can just, I think mostly we deal with either horizontal or maybe with vertical. Okay, that's the thing. I think for now the type horizontal is fine, and you can play around with the square ratio. You can make it as big square. You can just check this part. Okay, that's the thing. And yeah, we will check the chart markers maybe in next session, and a bit on conditional formatting as well. So yeah, that's it about this video. I just wanted to walk you through the formatting types which will be available under the columns. It's more or less the same which we have already done. I think I should have done it over here. Okay, anyways, it's more or less the same what we have done on the bar chart. Okay, so somehow I missed it. I should have done most of the things over here. But yeah, that's fine. It's basically the same. Okay, we can just walk through in one of the further sessions as well. So yeah, that's it about this video. It was more about formatting of whatever options are available for the column. And yeah, let's meet very soon in our next one. Thank you.